My name is Colm Noonan. I'm the Detective Chief Superintendent in charge of the Garda National Protective Services Bureau. So I'm going to speak just briefly about what we do in the Bureau in respect of one specific unit there, which is the Online Child Exploitation Unit. So that unit is a specialised and highly committed team who are combating crimes that target the most vulnerable people in our society, and that's children. So they, in the Online Child Exploitation Unit, they play a critical role in identifying, investigating and disrupting online child exploitation activities. They're working all the time in two main areas: to safeguard victims and to bring offenders to justice. So their work is a close collaboration between our international agencies, our national partners, and it's centres around intelligence sharing or investigations, and then it gives us this ability within An Garda Síochána and in cooperation with the Garda National Cybercrime Bureau to constantly address online child exploitation in the most proactive way possible. It really is a worldwide problem. The child sexual abuse material and child sexual exploitation material is ever increasing across the globe. It's becoming more sophisticated, it's growing in scale, and it gives huge challenges to law enforcement, to families, to educators. And the risks have gone beyond the traditional, online grooming, cyberbullying, and it really is, the work we're doing is to try and ensure that inappropriate content is reduced all the time. And unfortunately, our children have access to inappropriate content and illegal content through social media channels, through gaming platforms, and this ever-increasing digital landscape gives them, our kids, ever-increasing opportunities to be exploited and to be abused.
Michael Mullen is my name. I'm a Detective Superintendent in the Garda National Cybercrime Bureau. Like Chief Superintendent Noonan, I'm here this morning to talk about the identification and safeguarding of children who are subject to child sexual exploitation and abuse. Within the Garda National Cybercrime Bureau, we have 18 members, 2 full-time and 16 part-time, who review images, videos and associated metadata and other identifiers with a view to identifying children who are subject to child sexual exploitation and abuse. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is identify where the child victim is, be that in Ireland or another jurisdiction, and make sure that child is safeguarded. The victim identification team work closely with Europol and Interpol and utilise Interpol's child sexual exploitation database as part of the identification process. So in the Cybercrime Bureau, over the last 15 months, the victim identification team have safeguarded 40 children, all victims of online child sexual exploitation or abuse, and in some cases physical abuse. And there's 16 children who've been safeguarded in Ireland, with thanks to Chief Superintendent Noonan's team, and 24 in other jurisdictions. We've also alerted International College of another 52 children, victims again of child sexual abuse and exploitation, and in these cases we're simply waiting for the country to come back and tell us that these children have been safeguarded. And in addition, again, we've uploaded 900 additional files to the International Child Sexual Exploitation Database to ask our partners, these are children that are unidentified, to ask for their help to try and identify these children and to safeguard them. I have a few key messages that I'd like to get across to children, teenagers and parents. So the first one is that children and teenagers who have an electronic device with uncontrolled access to the online environment need to be aware of the danger of sexual exploitation and sexual abuse, along with the very serious harm that both will cause. And parents need to realise that such behaviour is happening online at an alarming scale. It's imperative that children and teenagers do not engage with strangers online. Don't ever create or share intimate content. Don't give in to blackmail, and don't tolerate any behaviour that would not be tolerated in the offline world, in daily physical interactions, just because it occurs online. And I've had personal experience myself of investigating this type of criminality where a child has come to serious harm. So I'd be very, the knowledge around some of the stuff we're talking about today, I've dealt with myself, and I've seen, unfortunately, children who have come to harm. And most importantly, if any child or teenager is a victim of any unwanted or inappropriate online engagement of a sexual nature, it's imperative that they please talk to someone immediately, whether that's the parent, a relative, a friend, or a member of An Garda Síochána, because An Garda Síochána are here to listen and to help. Finally, for parents, my advice is to talk to your child about the online environment, help them understand the dangers, monitor and be aware of your child's online activities, and be available to listen and help if your support is required.
In protecting children, in the digital age, it really does require this unified, collaborative approach. The safety of our children, sadly nowadays, extends far beyond the safety on the streets and extends into the digital and online world. We really, really urge parents, educators, anybody who's interacting with children to have open conversations with their kids about how they're conducting themselves online and their online experiences. We have to be able to speak to our kids to understand what they're being exposed to. There's huge potential in technology for online learning and development, but it really must be navigated carefully and with vigilance.